Germany met its demise by 1939 as France, Britain, and Czechoslovakia defeat Germany. Thus, they expand their lands greatly and occupy great lands, diminishing the German threat. But this leads to American distrust, thus putting troops on Canada and Mexico's border. And well, it launches an invasion into Mexico. Meanwhile, Italy begins to be in a corner. Forms an alliance with Bulgaria, Hungary, Turkey, and Spain, even joining. It plans an invasion of the Balkans, but that's later. But Soviets, desiring expansion, thus signing an alliance with a desperate Japan to partition China. If you enjoy the dominoes falling, please subscribe and let's get into it. Sudetenland in September 1938, the Allies refuse to give it up. The Germans get invaded by France and Britain, who demand Germany to give up the war, but since they refuse, they invaded, and thus by December, they enter the war. Let's see how the war goes. October. So let's get into the war with Germany demanding the Sudetenland. They invade. What a genius stroke. Invading a mountain. Well, Germany's economy was desperate at this point. It was desperate for its rearmament with expanding. Well, let's see how this goes. Germany, you might enjoy, have some fun, maybe grab some popcorn, Germany. It's going to go perfectly for you. Yes. We need to see what occurs. This is September 1938, in case you couldn't tell, even though I know you knew. But it's important, as they invade into the Sudetenland in multiple fronts. You might think, whoa, they're going to win. Yeah, I would say think again. And they managed to move towards Prague, occupying this. And this. But they failed to destroy the country. And you might be asking, why? Well, there's few nations that might help explain why. France and Britain decides to join. This is about, October 1938. And Britain and France join. You might say, oh, they'll just be like normal and do nothing. That would ruin the whole premise. So just sit there, relax, watch Germany get a bit of a butt kicking. Because they deserve it, let's be honest. The Allies shouldn't have been cowering to the Germans. But thus, the fall of the Rhineland begins by November 1938. Let's see how that happened. And also, the Czech front got destroyed. And by Rhineland, I don't mean probably the full Rhineland, just to the Rhine River. As they managed to do this, and at the same time, Germany, in a panic with that front collapsing, manages to get quickly kicked out of Czechia, Slovakia, even having a big encirclement made that crumbles. And being pushed away from Munich. Their front completely crumbled. But by December 1938, the British invade the north, landing here, moving into Oldenburg and Hamburg, and start seizing the north, even moving into Schleswig-Holstein, seizing it. With Germany struggling, but at the same time, Poland's invasion of Silesia begins. Yes, Polish invasion of Silesia, which is rapid, as they quickly manage to move in. And while they move in, you might say, what next? They also move towards Berlin. At the same time, a movement down south. Just thus by the end of December, the Treaty of Munich, with Berlin having fallen, a big invasion to Austria and the Franco-British front connecting. they decide to go into peace. Let's see how it goes. Forced to give Silesia to Poland, parts of Saxony to Czechoslovakia along with Bavaria, but also parts of each Prussia to Poland. The Rhineland is gave to France. Baden-Württemberg, Hanover, and Schleswig-Holstein is becoming occupied. Worse for Germany, Austria is free. Well, you may be saying, Germany has been crippled. The Allies have greatly expanded. It's January 1939, and America is growing weary of the imperialists. Thus, 500,000 troops are on Mexico's border and 200,000 troops on Canada's border. Oh no! Invasion begins! Moving in towards the coastal areas on the east. And on the west, they move into Baja California area and Sonora. And while they move south into the peninsula, quickly taking it over. Thus, with them taking it over, they can shift focus and bring all their troops in the main fronts. And well, as January 1939 continues, they manage to launch an encirclement in the north. Using it to their advantage, they manage to occupy a big piece of land, but it's not really much value. As they mainly move south on this front to get towards Mexico City, but in the middle of the month of January 1939, they move into here. The Yucatan Peninsula offensive, then they move in, and by February 1937, the Battle of Mexico City begins. Well, they manage to link up with this front, bringing much needed troops in. Also, this area surrenders, leading to troops only needing to be here and to the north of it. Thus, by the end of February 1939, well, it falls. And in this month, we also see the Treaty of Washington, which, as you can see, leads to them expanding like this. And why are they blue? Because they're the aggressor? Well, who knows? And while America annexes northern provinces in Yucatan Peninsula, just establishing American Mexico and being pulled out of the Great Depression, they embrace militarism and throw away liberalism. Well, oh no, Soviets and Japanese have plotted. The Moscow-Tokyo alliance has now decided to partition China. And well, we need to head over there pretty quick. Rapidly, we're headed over to a different area of the world, with the Mexico militarists shocked. But we must move over here, as Japan and Russia plots partitioning China with this alliance. Thus, yeah. They're both ready to partition a country. You may say, but they both have different goals. No, they both want to expand. Many different reasons for the expansion, yes, definitely. But with China surrounded on all fronts. And yes, I know Manchuria is a puppet, but we don't need to worry about that. And well, let's see what happens with the second Sino-Japanese War, along with a Russo-China War, Sino-Russo War, and with Japan quickly moving into here, even though they already have it. Don't know why I did that, but who cares? With them coming in from the south and moving in. And this is April 1945. Not 1945, that's a lie. April 1939. Along with the invasion like this. As the months go on, this war fails to reach stalemate. With them having the same front, within the Xinjiang, they advance rapidly to create East Turkestan. The Mongols also advance to try to annex Inner Mongolia. Within this part, Japan advances rapidly. Way faster than an hour timeline, simply because of two-front war. realistically, a three-front war. And I'm sure this isn't good, but they're getting ready for the Treaty of Moscow. With them quickly moving into some of the areas, with the Republic of China holding off the strongest, even though it simply is just that because they're worried about their land more than anyone else's, even though they want all of China back. And while it is time for the treaty, and this is August 1939, let's see. Ooh, China got demolished. Just look at them. Inner Mongolia annexed by Mongolia. Okay, that's a bit too dark of a red. Just let's be honest. So let's just fix this quickly. And as you can see, Manchuria maintains its puppet status. Nothing's gave away to the Russians. Meanwhile, the Japanese annexed the coast of China, puppetless China, they're China, Japanese China. Meanwhile, the puppet of Russian China is over here, along with East Turkestan, Tibet. Mongolia annexed Inner Mongolia, so they didn't annex much land. But with the great expansion by the Allies, the expansion by the establishment of the American order, well, the Italians feel back into a wall. The Hungarians, Bulgarians, and Turks want expansion across the Balkans. They need protection, but wary of the expansionists. The Italians thus form the Rome Pact. Well, let's go to the next map to see it. Yeah. As you can see, it involves Turkey, Bulgaria, well, Italy, Hungary, and Czech. Yeah. Well, we also have the allies with British colonies, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and Poland, and Czechia, and France, and Britain with all their colonies. Then we have the Americans. They have their own alliance now. But as you can see, thus, this alliance has greatly expanded and is ready to do a lot. But with the Rome Pact ready to cause the Third Balkan War, well, it starts now. Oh, wait, stay in tune. As it's December 1939, and up to this point, the Americans are wary of the Allies, thus plundering the Paranoia with the American order rising. Meanwhile, the Japanese isolation forces them to join forces with the Comintern to divide China, and forming the Tokyo-Moscow Pact. The Italians, caught in the middle with world power, hungry nations, forming an alliance. The Rome Pact. Now we have four sides. World. Will it crumble? Well, leave your thoughts and theories on your on your own theories of this new series. Stay in tune for Friday when we continue our series American Paranoia. Also, like, subscribe, and click notification bell to not miss that upload on Wednesday where we continue our alternate Future of the World series. Will America Fall? Also, click the video above. Wild Mapper out, but not until you subscribe. Bye, guys!